Shifting our focus now, tensions continue to simmer between Iran, Israel and the US. And in the latest, Syria has condemned an Israeli strike southwest of Damascus that wounded one person. This was the second such attack in a week. Just as Israel launched a new attack on Syria, it took a swipe at the American envoy to Syria, Tom Barak, for criticizing an earlier attack on an airbase in the northwest, which Israel has accused Turkey of seeking to use. Earlier this week, Barak slammed Israel's attack on the disused military airbase that day as an unnecessary escalation that does not advance regional stability. In fact, Tehran claims the prolonged war has shifted the power balance in entire West Asia. Hossein Taib, head of Iran's Basij internal security unit, claimed US and Israel are at their weakest. He claimed Washington no longer holds the same dominant role globally, while Europe has also been weakened owing to its alliance with the US. He also warned Iranians against trusting any apparent return to negotiations, accusing Tehran's adversaries of repeatedly breaking their commitments and resorting to pressure. With the Iranian economy in shambles owing to US sanctions, Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf claimed that Iran had received numerous messages from neighboring countries about establishing new regional security arrangements and economic cooperation. While Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian called for an end of the months-long war with the US President Donald Trump continues to push for greater economic pressure on Iran. Trump warned that diplomacy with Iran remains far from a breakthrough and even declared that US has total control over the Strait of Hormuz.
We have total control, as you know, of the border. We have total control. If you look at the blockade, we have total control of that entire region having to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And that means well into it, the land areas. So they would love to make a deal, but they're not ready to make the right deal, in my opinion.
Iran has hit back at the latest US economic sanctions, calling them illegal and a violation of international law. Tehran says Washington is trying to extend its jurisdiction over sovereign states. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Ismail Baghei warns that the measures will target foreign banks, companies and airports maintaining commercial ties with Iran.
Sanctions have been highly effective. People's livelihoods are very difficult and they are suffering. We do not know what to do.
Sanctions naturally have an impact. I am an employee and I try to manage my life based on my income, but it is no longer enough. Prices are rising uncontrollably and it is truly difficult. These sanctions reduce the country's revenues, including from oil and gas exports, and this has a harsh impact, making life very difficult for society.
The U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is expected to detail new sanctions on Monday, with Washington describing them as among the toughest ever imposed on Iran. Iran has vehemently rejected the latest U.S. pressure campaign, warning of a strong military response. Iran says it is continuing to upgrade its ballistic and cruise missile programs, with its defense ministry vowing to advance key strategic weapons. Tehran also claims its weapons and ammunition cost just a fraction of foreign equivalents to produce. Iranian media also released pictures of country's top general, Abdullahi, visiting one of the underground missile production facilities in a bid to convey Tehran's unequivocal message across. Just as this unfolds, the U.S. Navy released video that showed the aircraft carrier USS George Washington operating in the Arabian Sea. USS George Washington was being deployed to the region to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. Military-focused outlets have reported suicide attempts and declining morale aboard the 5,000-person USS Lincoln, which has been at sea since November 2025. Iranian Navy Chief Shahram Irani also warned that Iran is ready to defend its strategic waterways, claiming full control over areas east of the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman. The Strait of Hormuz continues to remain a key flashpoint. Both Tehran and Washington have claimed control over it. Recently, Tehran even granted permission to some Iraqi oil tankers to pass through the strategic strait, citing repeated requests from Baghdad. Trump, on the other hand, continues to drum U.S. assertion over the strait, calling it a U.S. territory.